Hello and welcome to Citizen Earned, where I unpack what it means to be the best American citizen from an immigrant's perspective. Previously, I have covered what I'm using as my guide through this process. I like to call them the big three. That's the Declaration of Independence, which is the promise of freedom, the Constitution, which is the manual or run book on how to run the government, and the Bill of Rights, which I refer to as the citizen's task. All of the things that citizens need to do their part to deliver on the promise of freedom. I've covered the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth up to this point, and we are almost there. All of this to deliver on the oath of allegiance I took when I became a citizen, specifically to honor the passage to protect the U.S. from all enemies, both foreign and domestic. Now, the Ninth Amendment, which reads, "The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people." Others, the key word there, we're back at this whole like English from then, English from 200 years ago, and English today. And the key word in this amendment is others, quote unquote others. Others referring to other rights. So the Ninth Amendment is essentially saying that the Bill of Rights is an enumeration of rights that we all have, but that there are additional rights that are not explicitly defined and enumerated in the Bill of Rights, and that we shouldn't violate those other unmentioned rights. Sorry, I was going to say the rights that weren't explicitly defined at that time. So the founding fathers essentially said, okay, here's like your starting board. Here's the Bill of Rights. Here's the first 10. Now go live. Go figure out how to apply freedom. Go figure out how to apply democracy, because we read about it, and the Greeks did it a while back, and now we're like much later, and we're going to try it again. So here's like a basic toolbox. Go figure it out. But there will be more, and as there are more, codify them, define them, bring them into the American culture. Like, go make this experiment successful. And so I was thinking about the Ninth Amendment for a very long time, like years. I'm talking about years, not like a few hours, like years. And I would talk to people, and I would try different theories and ideas, reading up a lot on history. But essentially, what I came to is that the Ninth Amendment is simply the golden rule. Don't do to others what you don't want done to yourself. And then that was kind of crazy to me, because essentially, this is just like the basic right to respect in common decency or common courtesy, whichever term you prefer. And it's just people being reasonable people to one another. And I was like, what? They codified that in the Bill of Rights? That's pretty awesome. But I kind of agree with that. Like, we should treat each other with respect, common decency, and common courtesy, right? It's kind of funny because it's such a short, almost forgettable amendment, but it has such big implications. Essentially, it's saying that if we disagree, it is our duty to respect one another as Americans and get through the disagreement or the argument or whatever you want to call it with some semblance of decency. I think there are a lot of people in the United States today that need to be reminded of that. I know that I need to be reminded of it every day. It's so easy to get wrapped up in an argument and just see the anger and just see the disagreement. But it's right there. It's right there in this little book in the Constitution. It does not, however, say that we need to be nice and or polite to each other. So let me just for a moment discuss the difference between being nice, polite, and respectful. nice is in essence lying to somebody. Because if somebody is a certain way and you speak the truth in a rude way, then people say, oh, be nice, implying that you shouldn't state the truth. Being polite, on the other hand, is stating the truth in a respectful way. So, I have, I guess, come to the point in practice to never ever be nice, because I don't want to lie to people. That's would be like providing fake news and dishonoring the First Amendment, and I can't do that. Sometimes I'm polite to people, but I do my absolute best to try and always be respectful. Now, I can be respectful and not be polite. I'm not doing a very good job of this, but what I'm trying to show is that there's a spectrum here. There's nice, and that's a lie, and then there's polite, and that is respectful, well presented truth. And then there is being decent, which is just kind of sticking to the facts. I guess that's a way to describe it, is that nice, we care more about the emotions than the information, and polite, we're balancing the emotions and the information, and by being decent, we're just focusing on the information, taking a significant amount of the emotion out of the interaction. And I think this is where most discussions on the decent side should take place when it comes to things like policy, or how we get along, how we govern ourselves, what needs to happen, so on and such forth. So keep this in mind when, as you watch the upcoming election and elections in the future, because I think that we've lost a little bit of this. But luckily, you see this? You see this? You see this? The Constitution. You see that right there? Right there. I know it's backwards for you. I know. But it says we the people can change it. If we believe in ourselves, if we believe in America, and we believe in our citizens, we can make this better. I guarantee you. And that's all I have for the 9th. I think that's quite a bit, and I think it's much harder than we sometimes think it is. So, good luck, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.